made a video yesterday about the rising unemployment rates amongst Black women, and the response that I got was definitely very alarming. There were a lot of negative, comments, and most of these comments were really coming from Black men who were saying things like it's because Black women have bad attitudes, it's because DEI, it's because AI is taking over, and many of which just miss the whole thing. Like, who cares? Nobody cares. It's time for Black women to be taken down a notch. And it was really alarming, because the point of me posting that statistic was to get us to think critically about what's really happening.
I don't want to think critically about what's really happening, because we've been telling you. You've been gassed up. Everything that you've received in the past 50 to 60 years was for the sole purpose of propping you up above your man so that you would feel comfortable disrespecting him and not even needing him, which has ultimately resulted in the destruction of your community, your family, and your children. And now you're trying to figure out what's going on. Now that the smoke is cleared, you want to know what's going on. Well, it's very simple. The powers that be no longer need you. It's that simple. You are now in a place where you don't care about being married to the Black man. You don't care about his leadership. You don't even care about him raising your sons and daughters properly. Everything that they gave you, from affirmative action to government assistance to government jobs to more access to corporate America, which they don't give us, has given you the attitude that you don't need us, which has ultimately resulted in you unwittingly playing a role in the destruction of your own community. Quite frankly, you made a deal with the devil. Don't be mad at us now that he's back to collect.
Hey guys, I just wanted to come on and to touch on this conversation. I guess I'm late with this conversation. This whole thing about Black women were the ones getting laid off in April, and they're trying to tie it into the DEI situation. Listen, I'm trying to tell y'all, dig deeper into anything these people put out here, okay? And I'm just telling you, contact the Department of Labor in your city and some of the other cities around the country and ask them if they have DEI numbers. Okay? You ain't never ever gotta take my word for it. Like I said, I'm on my phone. I don't have my computer anymore, right? So I don't have the ability to just be pulling up all this stuff and laying it out to put in these videos. I just don't have that type of time, and I don't have the resources. But you can. When I was looking to try to figure out what the heck DEI was, you can look into it. You can contact your labor department, and go online and read what it is. Make sure you have a full understanding what it is, and then contact your labor department. Okay. And if you're in the workforce, then you know what you see. I don't even got to tell you. You know what you see. What they're trying to do is they're trying to lie and act as if DEI also extended to us, FBA people. It did not. And if any Black women weren't laid off, then they must have been these people that they brought into this country. Okay. Because some of them are Black as well. Right. We understand that. Right. And that's was throwing people off. You're thinking that these are Americans that been here, and it's not. Okay, they're lying to you. We have not been benefiting from DEI at all, and they already said that, and now they're trying to come back and try to clean up the story by throwing this nonsense out here. Black women were not benefiting from, American women were not benefiting from DEI. DEI was about them trying to force these companies to place these people and the LGBT community into management and supervision positions, so they will be in the position to hire their own. Because that's what they're doing. And that's what DEI was. If they were just trying to look out for people, for minorities, then people should not have had an issue with affirmative action. And I've already said this, because that's what affirmative action was. It was for all minorities. It was not for black people. And they, according to those numbers for affirmative action, white women actually benefited the most because they were classified as a minority. Let's remember there was also a women's movement in this country. Okay, and you see people love to bring up the civil rights movement. They love to bring up the black civil rights movement, but they never, not even gonna say rarely, they never bring up that women's movement. Have anybody else other than me noticed that? They never bring up the women's movement. But there was a women's movement, and white women started to go outside of the home and start to work. And obviously, they were going to be promoted first. They were going to go into mid-management, and they were going to be able to get those business loans that black people and other minorities oftentimes were denied. So they were CEOs, right, of companies, head of Fortune 500 companies. They were the ones who were benefiting from affirmative action, okay, more so than anyone else. Not just that, but they also have the numbers, right? There are obviously more of them in this country than there are of us and of other minority groups, were at one time. Because I don't know that that's true today, since these groups have grown over the last 20, 30 years, right? And so, yeah, I don't believe this whole conversation, but, there are these black guys on YouTube and I guess on these other social media platforms who love to get clicks and views by creating arguments and promoting division between black men and women. And so they love to hear this. And so, of course, they would pick up something like this and run with it. But I don't believe it. And it could be black women that are losing jobs because these people are going to replace them with their own folk. It could be that as well. And that's what I was saying. Please don't think that this is just affecting the girl that was the waitress at the hotel or the ticket taker at the stadium, the guest services at the stadium. Please don't think that this was just about those lower end positions. Okay. These people are everywhere, right? Because they've been in this country growing, and now we have elected them. We have put them in the position to make decisions, and they're making decisions for their own people. And so we have to make sure that we're making decisions for ourselves. And I'm speaking FBA, American Black people, and we need to start, finding some voices because nobody is looking out for us. And I just don't believe these numbers. But if that's making some people happy to think that, black women are getting kicked out of jobs over DI, run with it. But look into it, because I guarantee that that's not a true statement. And that's my opinion. And that's what you get over here, my opinion. Anything that we say, anything that you hear us talking about here on YouTube, you'll pay attention. The media will always come behind us with some fool-ass story. Pay attention. Please pay attention. They'll come around with some fool-ass story to try to cover, because this stuff is history. This is history. It is what it is. People doing the things the way that they're doing it, and they really don't care about the people that they're harming. But they also are going to try to protect their image by lying. My grandmother used to say, never argue with a racist because they're not going to do nothing but lie. She said, don't waste your breath. Don't waste your time. And she ain't never lied. Okay? She's never lied. So, but pay attention. Every time you hear Tim Black and Dr. Umar and whoever else, that got a voice on this channel that's speaking up, and then pay attention to how the media will spin the story. They'll come behind it and spin the story. They're trying to pull black people to DEI. DEI was never about black people because it makes no sense what Reverend Pink Panther is over there doing. And Pickpocket Crockett is Sticky Fingers Waters. The stuff they're doing makes no sense. You don't hear them speaking up and saying one thing for the FBA community. Not one thing. Not 1 ounce of nothing. Because they're too busy getting their pockets lined while they sell us out. And it is what it is. But what I'm not going to do is create no lies for nobody. I do not respect Maxine Waters. Y'all said as somebody, this guy, I really should address him because I feel like he was addressing me because I was like, she needs to respect her elder. I was talking about Leandra Johnson and Bishop Wooden, excuse me. And he created some sermon about he don't need to respect his elders. He don't owe him nothing type nonsense. And so I don't owe Maxine Waters nothing either. I don't owe nobody nothing either. If that's how we doing it, then that's how we doing it. I was raised of a place of respect, of kindness, of manners, of being respectful, treating people how you want them to treat you. Because, see, that's in the Bible, you see. But, see, you have these ministers who out here preaching from their ass is what they doing. They preaching from the crack of their ass. But, yeah. So I don't respect these people, and they out here making up stuff now. Every time we say something, they're going to make up something to try to cover it. And yeah, I'm not shocked that these black women are losing jobs because they're going to replace you in all these sectors. They started with the lower end jobs, but they coming for all of it because all these millions of people that came over here got to work somewhere. Because see, they have to make them look like they're valuable and you're not. And in order to make them look valuable and you don't look valuable, they have to put them in these jobs, sweetie, and act like they've been here working them. And some of these people have only been on these jobs for 2 or 3 years. And I know because they're telling me. But anyway, let me know what y'all think about this whole conversation. I know that they have these black male content creators who like to create devisement or arguments. I don't know if they're American or not. I don't know what they are. Like I always say, and I've been saying that going back to Kevin Samuels. I don't know what they are because people have agendas. And that's what we have to understand. People be on their own agenda. Why any man would be happy to see any woman not being able to support her family, especially when she don't have a husband or you feel she don't have a husband at home, is beyond me, right? That you would even wish that's on your mind to wish that on anybody, right? Especially your own woman. But I digress, child. Like I said, I don't believe it anyway. I think that they're just putting something out here to cover what they're doing, and that's how they're going to cover it, by pretending like, oh, well, you got this job through DEI, so now we're going to take it from you and give it to this foreigner who just walked over here. Who's more deserving than you. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video.